A is for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatam, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our program, Learn Arabic. In the last episode, we discussed how can we write and pronounce the alphabet, the, in Arabic language. And I think that would be very easy, actually. If you just practice and train yourself, how can you write that and how can we pronounce it, I think you're going to have a kind of perfect pronunciation for that sound. I'm joined, as always, with Nabil from Pakistan, Muhammad from England, Osama from Egypt, and Khalid from Ghana. Welcome to all of you. Here is a question that I used to ask. Did you find any difficulty in producing or pronouncing or writing the in Arabic? Did you find any difficulty in that?
I think the in pronouncing, I think it's not as difficult as other letters in Arabic, but you might have a problem. I do have a problem when I'm just saying fluently.
Right.
Not when I'm like, for example, the. It's easy for now, but when you say fluently, ذَلِكَ وَالَّذِي just like that, it's probably difficult to pronounce.
Right.
I think in writing it's kind of similar to a dal, and we've learned how to write dal, so it's so easy.
Right. I think that this is what we got. I think you have something. Yeah. I can feel that.
I want to say that Muhammad is speaking about the initial position.
Yep.
He does say that the initial position is easy to pronounce.
Yep.
But the difficulty to us when it comes to in the middle position. Okay, or it is connected to other letters.
So in terms of what kind of difficulty do you have when you write that?
Yeah, we hear, for example, the confusion that happens, between the and that.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Well, I can understand that now.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
And
right.
it could be in any position, say alladhi, zi,
Right.
and the.
That's why I keep saying, Muhammad and Sam, I keep saying that if you like to be perfect in pronouncing such sound, you have to train and practice a lot. Not just to listen, but just to do that. And also to imitate the people writing that. And that's why, yes, Khalid, you have a comment.
I think that you say about practice, if you are even a non-Arab, not
Yep.
speaking Arab,
Yep.
and you practice a lot, it could, just
Exactly.
come
Well,
like
that would be a good idea. Why not? Well, it's based on the notion of practicing, the notion of practically,
I think
the notion of practically. Yeah.
practice is something that you need in sports, in life, in your exam, to prepare for yourself for exam. Anything you need practice. I mean, practice makes you perfect.
Right.
If you don't practice, you don't work hard, you can't achieve anything.
Right. Now it's the part of practicing. Are you ready to follow me in
Yeah.
writing? So here is that. I would like just to start here, starting with that. So here is that. Can you see that? In the initial position, and I would write the word Zubaba. Here is that once again. So we have Ba, small hook, and Bam, and then we have Am. We're going to start again with another Bam, and then we are making Ta at the end with two dots above the letter. Here is that.
Yeah.
Can you see that? My focus on here. Okay, I think this is the first example that we have here. The second example is Bidra. Can you see that? Well, which means seed in English. Ba here again, and then there. Can you see that? So one dot here, Ra, and then Ta. Here is that. My focus on here. And that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
In initial position, all of this connecting. In the medial position, actually, it's connected with the previous one, not with the following one. Well, by the way, well, we have to remember that. When it comes in the final position, here is that. Khudh, which means take. Kha, starting with a small hook, going down, and then making a straight line, and then we are making here that. Can you see that? We put just one dot here, we put just one dot here.
Yeah.
Just two letters probably gives meaning. Here's the question that I would have. You have a comment or something like that, Nabil?
No.
Okay, so here's the question that I would like to ask. We have in Khudh, for example, two letters. Does that mean that every letter in Arabic has a meaning? I don't think so. But if you combine the two letters together, probably that gives the meaning of just one word, like Khudh.
I think
Yeah.
you could say
Is that the
ayn-
same in English?
Ayn and lam, I think ala, if you think.
Exactly.
I think it's got to three letters because you have ya in the end.
Yeah, well, but you should also combine yeah with alif in order to
Yeah.
make a kind of vocative tool. To
I mean,
say,
we do have it in English
yeah.
as well, like at, at.
Exactly. But in English, I would say that probably we have just one letter, which is I.
Yeah.
Which probably such letter actually
Yeah.
gives meaning, like
Yeah.
I, which is a personal pronoun, which means
Yeah.
ana in Arabic, right? Something like that. So I think that this is very
I
interesting.
think we could say yeah.
Even if you say yeah,
Yeah.
I think that you're combining yeah with alif. in order to give meaning, the meaning of vocative, which means you're calling somebody.
Yes.
Right, here we go. So again,
Yes,
Usman, yep.
we want to speak about the, is there any significance for a single sound or a single letter? In Arabic,
Yep.
I found that in the ever-growth Quran, as you know,
Yep.
we have some words, some alphabets that are connected to each other,
Yep.
but in spite of that, we pronounce them separately. For example, alif, lam, mim.
Exactly.
And I believe
Yep.
that although I do not have a scientific evidence or for what is meant or what is the core of or the secret behind the way we pronounce such words, that there is a secret.
Let me just write
Or
that
there
on
is
board in order to explain that for
Something
our
significant
viewers.
about pronouncing such letters.
Let me just write that here, Usama. So that is your point.
Yeah.
Alif, lam, and mim.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Something like that, yes.
I think we
It's-
don't even
We
have the
have-
meaning of this word.
Exactly.
lam.
Well, I don't want to just again to put the cat among the pigeons and to say whether it does have meaning or it doesn't have meaning.
Yeah.
It is something that is mentioned in the glorious Quran, and I do believe that it has meaning.
it has me.
But I don't know what is the meaning of such words.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of those who are interested in tafsir can tell
Yes.
us more about that. But generally speaking, when it comes to just one alphabet or one letter in Arabic, I think this is the letter, but it doesn't have a meaning.
Yeah.
But if you combine the letter with the following one, probably we can have meaning. That's my point.
Yes.
Okay. Now I would like to move on quickly to the following letters. But here is the question. Do you have any question, any comment about that? No. Okay. It sounds like it's a very easy sound in Arabic and very easy letter in writing. Now, let me move on here to the Arabic alphabet. Actually, it's not the 5th letter. It's probably could be the 11th or the 10th letter. But anyway, Ra in Arabic.
Yeah.
This letter is, as it says in the slide here, this letter is similar to Ra in English,
Yes.
by which the tip of the tongue flaps against the roof of the mouth behind the teeth. I think that is very interesting. So does that mean that we can find a similarity between Ra in English and Arabic? I would say yes, there is close relationship between both. Probably in some dialects in English, like for example in the US English,
Yes.
you can find that Ra, as Usama said before, that sometimes is pronounced like Ram. In such a way, actually, probably you can
I think
find
it's a raw.
Ra, right,
R-A-W,
yeah,
Ra.
something like that. But here that in Arabic, I think Ra probably could be very easy. Probably could be easier than that because just one slanted line here in this way. I would suppose that we have a line here. And
I think
Yep.
the main point of ra is is not similar to any other Arabic words.
Exactly.
Alphabets. It's
Exactly.
kind of stands itself
Here is that, right.
in this way.
That's it, right. So here is that. I would suppose that we have a line here.
Yeah.
And we are making here just to write Ra in this way. Can you see that? Well, here is it. Slanted lines. Here is it.
Yeah. Please, Ahmed.
Yep.
Here I find in the English language, I find that there is a tendency for native speakers of English to write in a leaning manner. Yeah, the letters are leaning, okay, forward.
Yep.
Do we have such a style in writing in Arabic?
Well, I would just ask you for examples in English. Something like, do you have an example for writing the slide?
yeah,
I think-
yeah, they say was leaning, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The style is leaning.
I know. Well,
And
I
it is
would-
wrong. Yeah, some people said to me it is wrong to write.
Right.
For example, leaning to the left.
I see.
I think it's
that
more-
is what is called italic.
Yeah, italic. Yeah,
Yep,
that's what I
yeah.
mean, Ahmad. Yeah,
Yep.
this is
I
the
think
point,
it's
man.
more of a style than criticizing is wrong because more of a style is going towards that side,
The
towards
italic-
slightly down.
Yeah, leaning
Down
to
the
the
hill.
left, leaning to the left. But
I
if
see.
if you wrote it leaning to the right, it will be totally if the grammar is correct.
Yeah,
You said
that's
if the
right.
grammar is correct,
That's right.
then this is because this.
Well, I think this is very interesting because it's even related to my PhD dissertation, the side of writing of my
Yeah.
dissertation, something that I have to focus more attention on. And I think that is italic slide probably can be found, yes, in English
I think
writing.
it's less of a professional and then more of a casual writing. Italic comes in, but in professional, I think you'll see morely the text is straight, it's flat.
Right.
Do we have such style in Arabic?
I don't think so. Well, you can make that in Arabic, but this is not a common rule in Arabic. But again, you can make something like that for some letters or for some words or for some sentences, just if you'd like to pay the attention of the readers for a specific point. So you are making that in italic form.
Italic.
So that's probably can happen, yes, in Arabic, but in Arabic it happens from right to left.
From my, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
here
This
is
the
that.
difference, yeah.
But when it comes to English, it happens from left to right.
Right.
Okay, anyway. So let's now get again here. I would say, here is that. So pronouncing the letter Ra, I think that is, it's important here to mention that it's very close, actually, this letter. But the first thing that I would like to say that, as you can see, but I would like just to explain that physically to you and to train you. Your tip of the tongue actually touches your upper teeth. Probably not your upper teeth, but the backyard of the upper teeth. So here is it. Ra.
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 Can you see that?
Ra.
Right. It could be probably stronger than Ra in English, something like that. And we don't have variations in Arabic when it comes to Ra. So we say just Ra. Can you see that?
Ra.
So your tip of the tongue touches more than one time and quickly your alveolar ridge or probably the backyard of your teeth. Yes, Mohammed.
It's mean that Ra is alveolar?
Yep, that's correct. That's right. I would say that Ra probably could be described as alveolar. Probably takes another form in U.S. English, for example. It takes the form of retroflex. The tip of the tongue is getting back. Yes, Khalid. Yes.
Sometimes I have difficulty in pronouncing this letter.
Ra.
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. Is that? Well, I can ask a question. Is that available? Can we find such a letter also in Urdu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rab.
Ra. Okay.
Yeah.
So that can be found. So I think that the best way here just to pronounce and to write the alphabet is again to practice. So please follow me in pronouncing it. So we say Ra.
Ra.
Right, exactly. So even right, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me start here. So it says this letter is written entirely below the line. It's distinctive by its wide angle and its long tail that dips below the line. I think that is absolutely perfect to say something like that. We start writing it on the line and curve downwards below it. So here is that. I would write that here, and please follow me in writing this.
Yeah, okay.
I would say here that we have here a line. Here is the line. Okay. So we start from here, and you are making something like that. It comes below the line.
Below the line.
Right, exactly. So let me just have examples for this alphabet here. Right. Please, did you write the alphabet? Please, I want to have a look at this. Okay, here is that.
Yeah.
Right. And please be very careful between Ra and Da.
There.
Please. Okay, here is it again. So I repeat writing Da. Here that is this way. Can you see that?
Yeah.
You can understand it's not curved line
It's
here.
not curved
right?
down, yeah.
So we can't actually write
Yeah.
Da here this way.
It's not, yeah.
It's
I
ridiculous.
mean, if you,
It's ridiculous, yeah.
as Osama said, if you curve it, it will be more differentiate from what Ra actually the actual position is. So I think
Yep.
if you curve it, it's probably better and more simple to understand the difference between Dal and Ra.
I think that is absolutely correct.
I find that sometimes we write the da or,
Yep.
the letter by dots. Okay.
By dots, right.
Yeah, and then we ask the child or the kid to just connect the lines of the letter. Okay.
Yep, I think we're going to
This
discuss
is
more
one way
about
of learning.
Yep, I think we can discuss more about that, Osama, after having a break. My dear viewers, we're going to have a break. Stay tuned.
Those who love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for those who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, for those who want to enter the Jannah, the paradise that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for the believers. And that's why we need to learn and we need to get to know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, so that we submit ourselves to the orders of Allah. And this is knowledge that we need to learn. Why we're spending more time to look into the verses and to the meanings of the verses in depth, so that we can get to learn from it what we need ourselves to be steadfast, to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ponder over the meanings of the miraculous words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the second part of our episode, Learn Arabic. In the previous part, actually, we were trying just to write. How can we write the alphabets? And I think that Osama does have a comment here. Please, Osama, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean that sometimes we will learn our kids and children by writing the letter in dots.
Yep.
Okay, then we ask them to connect these dots.
Connect all of them to. I think that this
Yeah.
is probably a very simple way for writing the alphabet in Arabic, something like that here. In this way, like for example,
Yeah.
this letter. So we make that here.
Yeah, just because sometimes they do mistakes and make mistakes.
Oh,
in
I
writing,
see.
like a curved there.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I think that's true. I mean,
I think it's probably showing how it actually is, using the dots, guiding them which way to follow. Maybe they can miss a little bit dots and that
Exactly.
go diagonally wrong or
Right.
angularly wrong, but it does not matter. What matters actually is which way it goes, the way it follows down, which way it goes down.
right, exactly. I agree with you about this point, and I think this is probably can distinguish a lot of Arabic alphabets. Yes, I think that Khalid does have a question.
I
Yep.
think that the dots actually help them, like if it's difficult to carve, the
Yep.
dots guide them,
Yep.
So they have a more easy way to, make it.
Yeah.
So when they're gonna write on their own.
Even we, as native Arabic speakers,
Yep. Yep.
learn the calligraphy, okay? The calligraphy or the styles or the shapes or the forms of writing letters or writing. We have Nasq style, we have Raqa style. This way, by the dots,
Right.
okay?
Right.
And I find it very easy for me to learn it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that means they can find the variations for writing Ra in different ways. in
Yeah, I
Arabic.
think so.
But right, but I think that is in order to learn the simple way, just to stick to the standard rule for writing the Arabic alphabets. And I think that is probably could be very easy when you just make a kind of slanted line going down below the line. And I think, do you still remember when we were trying to write that in initial position?
Yeah,
and
I think
that.
it's always disconnected.
I think it will be the same, by the way, in Ra. I mean, in Ra, you can also find in initial positions always disconnected from the following letters. And I think, let me just give you one example here.
I think maybe I've seen a couple of times when we're reciting Quran, Ra is connected in middle position.
Right.
Yeah.
It's joined. It's
In the initial.
in middle position.
Okay, in the middle position, right. I think so. Now, let's move on here to the initial position. What we can find here is Ra, when it comes to initial position, always disconnected. So that means, let me just give you one example here. Rabia, which means spring in English. Let me just write that here. I will tell you, here is it. Please follow me in writing. It's very important to write. Again, the only way just to be perfect in writing and pronouncing the Arabic letters is to practice. So please follow me. Here is it. So we start with Ra here, in this way.
I think, Ahmed, first we have to imagine that there is a line, straight line.
I'm sorry for that. I think that would be could be very important here to draw the line. And here is it. Okay. Then what we can find here is Ba. You still remember Ba when it comes in the medial position.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we are making a kind of just one dot, putting Ya after that, and finally we make a kind of closed or open A. Here it is. We put just two dots here below the letter Ya. And we just put one dot below Ba.
But Ahmed, what is the problem if I wrote it like that? Above the line.
Let me just have a look.
Yeah, like that.
Like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Have fun with it.
What is the problem?
well, there's no problem at all. By the way, you can write that. But I think that the perfect way just to make that. Yep. Here is that. Right. Right. Exactly. That's right. I mean, there's no problem with that. But I think again, if you just would like to have a variations, that would be perfect actually to have something like that. Rabia again. So here is that. So I would like just to pronounce this word. Please follow me. So I say Rabia.
Rabia.
Can you see that?
What does it mean in English?
Well, it means spring.
Spring. Yeah.
Right. So again, so it's a season.
It's
summer.
Rabia.
Yeah.
Rabia, right.
Rabia.
Yeah.
And I think that we can discuss more about in the upcoming episodes because probably that could be also very difficult sounds for a lot of non-native speakers of Arabic, right?
Yes.
Especially when it comes in the final position, something like that. That's why people, especially in the US, say Ali. They say Ali.
Ali,
Can you see that? You couldn't pronounce But anyway, now let me just move on here to the medial position. Sometimes it comes connected here, like for example, khuruj or khuruk. Can you see that? Yep, Sam, I think you have a comment here.
No, thanks.
Okay, so I think that is when it comes in the medial position, sometimes we can find two cases. It probably could be the same for
Similar
that.
to
but
dal.
no. Yep. So I would say that is when it comes in the medial position, sometimes we can find Here is that. Please follow me in writing this word. Kham. Can you see that? Can you see that? Okay. So this is for kham. And then we have ra. And then we have wa. And then we have ja. Here is it. We just put one dot. Again. So how many letters do we have here in this word? I know that we have now discussed all the letters, right?
We have 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Yeah.
Ha is combined, connected with ra. Wa is not connected at all.
Yeah.
And ja comes in the final position. And as we discussed before, the ja, when it comes in the final position, always disconnected.
It's free. That's
Right.
correct.
Just remember when we talked about ha, when it comes in the initial position, we don't have tail. When ha or ja or ha come in the final position, sometimes they do have tail. Here it is. So that's the tail that we have here for ja. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So my point here is on that. Ra. So that means, please, did you write something like that? I want to have a look at this. Khuruj, perfect. Interesting, awesome, terrific. Okay. Now, let me just move on here to the second part, which is sometimes it comes disconnected.
Sometimes, yeah.
Very interesting. And I think that this is the same example that we discussed before in da,
Yeah, I think.
which is warda. So please
Yeah.
follow me in writing that. Hear that. I would write warda. How many letters do we have in this word?
Yeah.
I think you have 4 as well.
4, 5,
I
10?
mean, this could be the similarity between ra and dal.
Exactly.
And it's probably
Yeah.
dal is probably the only letter is similar to ra when it comes to middle position. I think maybe afterwards, I don't know, but at the moment, I think ra and dal is only letters that come in middle position without being connected.
Exactly. So let me just start here by writing warda. Here is that. So we start with wa, and we have ra, and then we are writing da carefully in order to avoid any kind of confusion between da and ra. Here is it. And then we are writing ta with 2 dots.
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Very
think, Ahmed,
distinct. Yeah.
The variation of pronouncing the sound of the alphabet ra.
Yeah.
I think we have a variation, and it has to do with what we call in English tafkhim, or thickness and heavy.
Right.
Sometimes it has to do also with maybe a little miscommunication or misunderstanding.
Like what?
For example,
Yep.
if I called a man and said to him, Ragil.
Ragil.
Yeah, Ragil. Yeah, they may take it as disparaging, or derogatory sense that you are making fun of him, but it should be Rajul.
Rajul.
Or
Okay.
Rajul.
So
Okay?
can you see the difference here between ra?
And Ra.
and
Yeah,
Ra.
so, yeah, Ra and Ra.
Right.
Okay?
I think, Osama, that is very interesting because some linguists say before that we couldn't have ra as an emphatic sounds. But in my personal opinion, I disagree with that. We can find also ra could be probably has similar emphatic features that can be found in the emphatic sounds, like da, like ta.
For example, I do remember that when I was learning the Evergreen Quran,
Yep.
my teacher, when I pronounced, for example, the word Fir'aun, I said Fir'aun. He said, it's not Ra. It's,
Right.
he tells me that you are making a mistake here.
Right.
Okay? So it is Fir'aun. So here it is light. It is Murakkaka.
Well,
We say
is
Murakkaka.
there a relationship, Osama, between whether ra is emphatic or non-emphatic and the vowels that comes before or after the letter ra? I guess
Yeah.
probably could be
This has to do with the diacritics or the marks.
right, which is called tashkil. Right?
Yeah, tashkil.
Exactly.
Okay.
But again, well, my focus on here is how can we write the ra in the medial position. So as I said before, when ra comes in the medial position, always connect in the medial position, sometimes connected, but on the other hand, sometimes it comes disconnected as well. And I think that such a word is actually very distinctive. Do you know why? Because here we have the 4 letters are disconnected. And probably Nabil, I think that Nabil has a question in his mind. I can read his questions in his mind now. And probably he's wondering if we can combine the 4 or the 5 letters together. Absolutely no. Well, not a chance. It will
So
be very
here
hard.
we have a similarity here between English and Arabic.
Right.
There are some words that remain disconnected, even a single word,
Exactly. So
as in the English language.
Right, I think that is absolutely correct. So let me just get back again here to where the sometimes comes connected and sometimes comes disconnected. And in order to, here is another examples actually, right. So can you see that, for example, bahr, which means sea. Here is that. Ba. Please follow me in writing that.
Okay.
And then we have ha. and then we have Ra. You see that?
Yeah.
But of course, I
Yep.
forgot
But-
Dal. Yep. Okay, well, sounds perfect. Okay, well, I like that. Now, here is that. So, the only thing that I missed here is to put just one dot.
Yeah. So I think we can guess. Even there is no dot, we can guess what this word may mean.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, but that's for you, Sam.
Yeah, okay,
But I'm
that's me.
talking about those who are learning Arabic just in the beginning level. If I write this word again,
I think you probably read
Yeah.
without you know tashkil, see
exactly.
just someone design.
And how about, yep, Sam, you have a comment.
It may be noon, not bad, okay? So we'll move to another
Right.
totally different word.
Exactly, I think so, right?
Yeah.
And also, how about if you put dot here, you are changing your actions this way. You change the letter from one form to another form.
Maybe put a dot instead of ha.
Exactly. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And we also can probably put dot here.
Yeah.
No khads.
Right. I mean,
Right.
but this is not my point. My point is, if you like just to write the word, here is that. Ba, we put just one dot here again, and then we make ra. Here is that.
Yeah, so
Right.
this is a C.
Exactly. And I think that is very interesting here to mention. That is, I would like just to write the independent shapes for such alphabets. So I will write this is ba,
Yeah.
and this is ha,
Yeah.
and this is ra.
So, but they are disconnected here.
Exactly. Right. So this is probably the independent shapes for such alphabets. Can you-
Maybe when you write the independent shapes of some alphabets, on the top or underneath the actual word, it defines that these are the words comes in this kind of position when you write them.
Exactly right. I agree with you about that. And that's why, now I would like just to pay your attention for the way that we combine the letters together in Arabic. Again, so here is that. We have ba, we have ha, we have ra. What I did here is that I make a hook and then I start, I'm sorry for that. Here is that. Ba, here in this way. Put just one dot. Make ha here. Can you see that? And then very short line to combine that with ra. So probably Usama might ask me a question, or probably Khalid could shoot me a question about, can I write that in this way? Ba?
Yeah, I think. Can I understand?
It doesn't
that?
make any sense.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
think
make
that
any
is
sense.
very important actually to mention. If you'd like to combine the letters.
Maybe it looks like Jim instead of ba. Dot.
Exactly, something like that. So anyway, the bottom line here, if you like to combine the letter together, you should have a kind of very short distance. I think we can discuss more, but I'm sorry again, our time is running out. My dear viewers, I think that by such episode, we discussed a lot of Arabic letters, and we can discuss more about how can we pronounce and produce a lot of the other Arabic alphabets, and I think that is very easy. Again, my advice to you just to practice and to train more and more. If you have any question or any comment, please send me email to brave107@yahoo.com. Thank you for joining us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A is for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatam, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.